So obviously, Shay, the fight didn't turn out the way you wanted to turn out, but that being said, I think that was actually one of your best fights. I mean, is that kind of what you take away from that performance?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think first of all, you gotta realize like that that performance wasn't it will definitely I keep saying it wasn't bad for an old head like me, 17 years in the game, and to come out and fight the way I fought. I was proud of the fight. Proud to share such a good fighter in Julian Williams. I always had the respect for him, but it was one of some. The fans have been real receptive to the fight. They said, I've heard that from quite a few people. That was the best fight that they've ever seen me look at 39. That's kind of crazy knowing where I come from. Contender and the fights with Randall Bailey and winning the world title. So to hear fans, appreciate the fight and to go out there and put one of my better performances together after being off 14 months, it was good to to see that and to hear that from the fans, and just disappointing in the judges. I would never have one of the judges ever judge another one of my fights. I would always, if they're on my ticket, the ballot to judge any of my fights, I will always dispute them. There's no way Max DeLuca can score that fight 9-1. He gave me one round. There's no way, the guy Robert, whatever his name is, which there's no way he can score it 8-2. Even 7-3 is a stretch. So that's just really, really disappointing. You as a fighter, you spend 8 weeks, or for my case, 9-10 weeks of training, giving you your all, sweating in the gym, and the injuries you occur in the gym, and the tweaks you have to make in camp, the miles ran, the weights and training that you do outside the gym, and to have 3 incompetent judges score a fight like that, I mean, it's just real disappointing. In life, I can live with taking an L. I have no shame in taking L's. Some L's over my career, I'm not comfortable with. I'm not comfortable with the Sergio Mora L because it was a 5-round fight and because I never seen it, and I just know it was a split decision. I've never watched the unedited version to say, you know what, he got me. So I'm uncomfortable with that one. I'm uncomfortable with the Fernando Guerrero fight because I felt like I went to his backyard and I won. Some L's I could take. I thought Danny Jacobs did get the better of me when I fought him in Texas, but I didn't think he won 100-89. I didn't think he won like every round. That judge didn't even give me the round I heard of. So I've been around this block before, but I would never have one of those judges ever again judge another one of my fights. Never, because it's just unfair. As fighters, we give our life to this sport, and to have them incompetent judges go out and judge that fight like that, and so many people scored it differently. I've had the reception, of people saying at worst they had it was a draw, and most of the people on TV and at the fights had me winning, and it's very disheartening.
Shay, I'm gonna get back to the judging situation here in a minute, but I did want to ask you, you said earlier you had been out for like 14 months, but I know prior to this fight getting made, you actually asked for it. You actually wanted to fight Julian Williams, and I'm just curious as to why you would want to fight a Julian Williams when you were coming off such a long layoff. What made you want to go out and get that particular fight?
It's only 2 fighters that I personally know of in the history of boxing that can say I haven't taken no L's. Like I don't know what losing is about. And that's Rocky Marciano, and that's Floyd Mayweather. That I know of. They're the only ones that can say don't take no L's. They never taken an L. They don't have a blemish or draw or nothing nothing on their record. All
Dang,
the
no,
greats that I follow.
no love for Andre Ward.
Oh yeah, Andre Ward too. I forgot about him. But he just retired. So
True.
he was off my radar. But he was still fighting. So
Right.
He just retired. I would have to I'll put him there too now because he's retired. So they're the three greats in my eyes that can say they never taken no L's. They don't have no blemishes. They beaten everybody, him as well. So when I see that people say, well, you got 9 losses, all the greats have losses. If you go look at some of the greats, Muhammad Ali, he got losses. Joe Louis got losses. Sugar Ray Robinson got losses. Chavez got losses. Oscar De La Hoya got losses. Shane Mosley. I mean, and the list goes on. Some of these guys I grew up watching and studying and idolizing. So they all have losses. So my losses is no different than their losses. Some of my losses are controversial, like the last one. Julian Williams is a good kid. He's not supposed to sit and say, "Oh yeah, I lost. I thought he won." No, it's an individual sport. He's supposed to believe he won. Even if he feels he lost, or even if he feels it's close, he's supposed to believe he won, and he's supposed to say he won. I get that. But I know the landscape of boxing, and I know what it is. Like, I'm an older guy. They set me out for 14 months. And, I have a family to feed, family to take care of, and, they couldn't get me no fights. I don't think I was high priority on the list to get fights. They probably figured, he can't fight no more, or he's going to lose to Julian Williams, or he's going to go out there and look like shit, and then we can be done with him. The worst thing I did was go out there and fight the way I fought, and people saying it was a good fight, because now it's like, do we, now you're stuck. Do we still fight him, or do we just tell him to kick rocks and be gone? I get the nature of the game, but I would rather just be told, like, what, this or that, not having me sitting out for 14 months and dealing with everything I had to deal with, then knowing I got a family to take care of. It's easy to tell someone to go get a job. It's not easy to tell someone to go get a job that the highest education they have is graduating high school, and then the highest when they haven't worked since they was 18 years old. That's not easy to go tell someone when they've been fighting the last 17 years, and they're 39 years old. That's not easy to tell someone to go get a job. It's that's not the landscape. I was coming off 2 wins. I was told one thing after I beat Galarza. That didn't come to fruition, so I set out 14 months. I never complained. I never bitched. I was told if I beat Galarza, I would get a title shot. I never complained. I never bitched. Even I had to watch Austin Trout coming off a loss in his last 2 fights. Both of his last 2 fights, title shots. I never complained. I never bitched. I just played my position. It's all about me. It's just opportunity. So I knew that the only way I was going to get a big fight, the only way I was going to get any type of big fight was to say, hey, give me the best. I want to fight Julian Williams. I knew that was a fight that can be made. I just knew it was the landscape of boxing. And I knew I could still compete. That's the thing. I could still compete. Not surprising that the only person to say anything about my judging was the boss himself, Floyd Mayweather. Other people probably just figured I was going to lose. I mean, most of the fans probably thought I was going to get whitewashed and lose. But I know what I'm capable of doing. I know that the last 17 years I've taken care of my body. I don't go out. I don't club. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I don't do none of those things. I never disrespected the sport of boxing. So I knew that I could still compete. And I keep telling people, when I can't compete no more, this game will not get the better of me. You won't see me out here slurring my speech and nothing. I will retire. But I still feel I can compete. So it's just disheartening. Like I said, I don't know when I'm going to fight again, so I just have to sit around and play my position. It's just the landscape of the sport.
The fight itself, I mean, like you mentioned, it was one of your better performances and whatnot. And the scorecards, they don't really, or they didn't reflect that type of performance. So just knowing that, are you more disappointed in the fact that you didn't get the win? Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, do you feel like you were robbed of the victory, or are you just simply disappointed at the scorecards in general?
I'll let the fans decide who they think won. You know, I give them the go ahead. I've never made excuses about none of my losses, about none of my wins. Like I say, we take L's every day in life. I've taken a lot of L's this year. You know, with the murder of my kid's mother, not fighting for 14 months. Then you got people whispering, and you hear things like, "Oh, why does his fiance not work? She needs to go get a job." Like, it's cheaper. Number one is nobody's business. Number two, it's cheaper for me to have her at home because if she goes to work, then I'm responsible for 6 kids. I don't have no family out here. Everybody knows the story where I grew up without a father, so I don't have siblings. My only sibling I have is my sister, who also works a full-time job. So the brunt of those responsibilities of those kids will fall on me, like picking up from school, taking the practices, and doing all that. So it's easier when you look on the outside and you can say things like that. Why don't he do this? Why don't he go get a job? Why don't he do that? But until you live my shoes, until you live my life, then talk to me. So I'm more disappointed of the scoring. Listen, whenever you have a close fight, you're going to have some disparities, you know, when you have a fight like that. But the disparities were so wide, like 9 rounds to 1 is almost laughable. Like, I can't even. So the only round you gave me was the round I hurt him in. If you gave me that round, like, that's almost laughable to think that such a good fight, you scored it 99 to 91. It almost like you filled out your scorecard before you even got to the fight. Like, what is it? Is it because I'm old? Is it because you were the judge on the contender and maybe you didn't like me? Or with the guy Robert, is it because I knew a girl you were smashing? So, you know, you came in with a different agenda? Is it because I knew some chick you was banging, so your agenda was different? With Max DeLuca, is it because your agenda was different because I was a contender fighter, so maybe you didn't like my attitude back then? I mean, so I just don't get it. Like, I wrap my brain around it. Listen, if they score that fight 6-4, if that fight is close or I lose a split decision, I got no argument. I got no arguments that I lost right now. My only argument, and I have no arguments feeling like Julian Williams thinks he won. Like, I have no arguments with that. My argument is the scoring. Like, how do you score that fight like that? That's just crazy to me. Even 7-3 is a stretch. Even 7-3 is a stretch, but 9-1 and 8-2 is laughable. Look, I don't want a hometown decision. I don't believe in that. Like, I went to New York. I've been to other people's hometown. I went to New York and I beat Kyle Wolak in his backyard because I was the better fighter. Period. I didn't win because of my name or because I had been on the contender. I beat him because I was the better fighter. Like, I just don't get where these jerks come from, man. I don't understand it nowadays. Like, it's so disheartening. It's so disheartening when I know what we go through and we lay it all on the line to have 3 incompetent guys that never boxed a day in their life, one a wannabe singer, and like I said, and I know some chick he was smashing, and I've never had that dude judge another one of my fights. Never. I will always any three of those judges judging my fights. And you know, it's just, I'm more upset with that. Like I said, Julian Williams was a good kid, a very respectful kid, and I wish him well. Like, you're not supposed to think you lost. So I know the sport. I know how it is. So he's supposed to feel like he won, and it's not his fault. The judging is never his fault. It's never the fighter's fault. But it's crazy, man. It's just unbelievable.
How much of because you mentioned some potential personal biases with a couple of the judges, like, do you think that is ultimately what might have crept up in this situation? Do you think that maybe the powers that be wanted Julian Williams to win? Is that what had to do it? I mean, it's just weird because most people would think it's a Mayweather Promotions card. You're the Mayweather Promotions fighter. Therefore, if there is going to be some funny business going on, you would think that the scorecards would have been 99-91 for you to win.
It has to be, or they feel like this guy's young, and he's the future, and I'm the past. But you yourself said it. You said that the consensus is this was one of, if not best, one of my better performances. Mm-hmm. And the scorecards don't relate what you said. Mm-hmm. I mean, they don't show that. The scorecards show I got dominated and got my ass beat. Let's just keep it 100. That's what the score. If I heard 99-91, 98-92, 97-93, I'm thinking the fighter that lost got his ass whooped. Mm-hmm. 9 rounds to 1, 8 rounds to 2, 7 rounds to 3. I'm thinking whoever that fighter is got their ass whooped. Not, this was a great fight. Oh my God, this is one of the best fights of his career. God, this is one of the best fights of the year. It was so entertaining. Oh my God, he fought with, he got headbutted 3 times. He fought with 2 cuts. He won round. Like, that's not what you say in this situation. I've been around greats. I've been around, I've been mentored by some of the greats, Vernon Forrest, Diego Corrales, Fernando Vargas. Like, I understand the game. Like, Julian Williams came out with I read, somebody told me, he did an interview, I read a little piece of it that he said, I got away from my game plan. I was going to box him, and, I was trying so hard to knock him out. Like, you're not going to knock me out, man. Mm-hmm. I got too much pride. I keep telling these young fighters, listen, just go out there and fight your best. Like, I was that young kid before. I was a young kid telling old veterans, I'm going to knock your ass out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Like, I get it. So you got to say that shit. But listen, if you start talking that way with me, it's not going to happen. He didn't get off his game plan. I got him off his game plan. I knew the game plan. I knew he was going to try to box. I knew he was going to try to use his jab. So my thing was to always take him deep and see where his heart was. See when he had the grit down and bite down on that mouthpiece, where his heart would be at. And where, my game plan was to always throw body shots, take him to deep waters, and see where his heart, test his heart later in the fight. And that's what I did. Like, he didn't get off his game plan. I got him off his game plan. I never got hurt in the fight. If you look at the tape, you watch the fight, he got hurt in the fight. Like, he got hurt a couple times. So it is what it is. Like I said, it was a great fight. I have nothing but respect to Julian Williams. My grudge has nothing to do with him. But like I said, when you look at a judge who judged the contender, who at the time gave, I think when I got the split with Sergio, he was the only judge that gave me the fight. But maybe he had some gripes for how my attitude came off on the show. I don't know. And then when you look at the other judge, Robert, well, I can't think of his last name, but when you look at him, the black judge, I knew a chick he was smashing. So maybe he felt like I was too much in his business or something. Like, I don't know. These judges, man, they walk around like they fighters too. they walk around tricking and hoeing too. They sliding in girls' DMs too. Like, I personally knew a chick he was smashing. So it's like, he does all that too, but why? Like, you scored a fight 8-2. Like, I'm not upset, but I mean, it's like, God damn, 8-2. Like, what fight was you watching? Like, there's no way you can score that fight 8-2. There's no way you can score that fight 9-1. Even 7-3 is a stretch. Like, I was talking to a good friend of mine who he lives in New York. He said the disappointing thing about your fight is this one of your better fights, but the most disappointing thing is you don't know what's next. And I don't. Like, the landscape of boxing is messed up. Like, the only one to talk about my fight as far as the judging and this and that was Floyd. Everybody else I haven't heard from. Like, I don't know what's next. They probably was hoping I got whitewashed, hoping that I got blew away, so they wouldn't have to deal with me no more. But that wasn't the case. But, most people would be outraged. Most people would at least say something like Floyd said, like, yo, this judging is crazy nowadays. Like, Floyd was the only one. Nobody else said a word. So, not surprising to me at all, man.
Is that a wake-up call, not just for you, but all fighters across the board, to where they really have to start doing their research on the judges as well. I mean, I know that's generally the responsibility of your team. Like your team has to, when judges and referees get assigned, your team has to take a look, and I know they have an opportunity to protest or to file a protest if they don't want a certain judge or ref or something like that. But is that now more, I don't know, just more of a responsibility on the fighter to start looking at these judges and realizing, oh, well, I know him and he's smashing this girl that I know, like, kind of like you said, and just kind of realize, like, these judges are just human. And because they're human, there's going to be human biases that creep into their judging as well.
Look, man, so when I first came into the game, I was young. I wanted to get my name out there, so I was doing the interviews for everybody. Like, I was just so happy that I could do an interview, and then I could just, I can read it or post. At that time, not even post it. Tell my friends to go read it, and it just felt good to do an interview. I don't know why. Even post-contender or pre-contender, I mean, it just felt good to do an interview. I had my own website. It was exciting times. Now that I'm older, like, the same people that I would do interviews with, I don't know, for some reason I thought, like, these interviewers were, like, cool with me. Like, we would chop it up, and then, like, after I fought or after, I would get a win, these same interviewers would be shitting on me. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, damn, that's not kind of the tone I had in the interview. Like, I thought we were somewhat cool. So, but now I don't speak to everybody. I don't fuck with everybody. Like, Steve Kim is a dude I don't fuck with because I know he's biased. He doesn't care for Mayweather Promotions. He doesn't care for Floyd. And he technically doesn't care for me. Like, I remember back in not too long ago, after Badu got knocked out, he was talking shit about Badu. Saying, like, oh, great, Badu won this fight. Now I gotta dread watching him on the Mayweather pay-per-view. Like, and this was before Badu became champion. I'm like, I tweeted him, like, you don't have to buy it. Like, you don't have to watch it. You don't want to watch Badu, but now, oh, champ. No, man, it's not champ. I remember when you was shitting on him not too long ago. So I think these dudes get too personal, and that's why I don't do interviews with everybody. Same thing with Dan Raphael. Like, I'm cool with these guys. I say what up to them, but I've been knowing these guys long enough to know that they talk shit about fighters that gets way too personal. Like, just report. NFL reporters, NFL people that cover the NFL, basketball people that cover the basketball, just report. You never hear them talking about personal shit. So these dudes get too personal. They get way too personal. So I just leave it. It's only a couple people I'll fuck with. And if I have to promote a fight and I have to do interviews and you see me talking to, like, different people, yes, I will. I'll do that. But I'll never do interviews with them people because I already know what their mindset is. I've been knowing them long enough to know that they ain't shit. And I know that if they could take a stab at a fighter, they will. So I don't fuck with them. So, yeah, you're right. I need to be better. The fighters need to be better to find out, when you're in this game long as I have, and you got a guy like Max DeLuca, who I know personally was one of the judges on the contender, then that's something personally I probably would have been like, I don't know if I want him here. Well, I might have would agree to have him because I'm like, at least he scored my fight with Sergio, I think at the time, 4-1. And one judge had it like 5-0 for Sergio, and one judge had it 4-1 to Sergio. And me and Sergio are cool nowadays, so it's nothing personal against him. He should feel like he won. Again, it's never personal with the fighters. So I always gonna say it's the judging. The fighters should always think that when me and Sergio are cool, so I ain't got nothing against Sergio. Me and Sergio are some of the OGs that still fighting. But I'm like, I probably would have used him, but Robert, I definitely wouldn't have used him because I knew a chick he was smashing. And that, and that whole situation was like kind of, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't agree to have him in my corner. And I just knew the chick. Like, I didn't know none of that business, but maybe he had some bias. I thought maybe something I was trying to smash the chick or something. I don't know. But I I wouldn't have had him in my corner just because he's so weird. Like 1 minute he's weird. Like he scored the Mickey Bay fight, 11 rounds to 1 for Mickey Bay, and that's fine. I wanted Mickey to win that title. Like Mickey is my man. Mickey was one of the first ones that hit me up after I fought and said, "Yo, that was one of your best fights. I love that fight. You should be able to get some big opponents off that fight." But I'm like, damn, it's just so wishy-washy because a lot of people didn't have Mickey winning that title 11 rounds to 1. But Robert scored that fight 11 to 1. So I probably wouldn't have had him in my corner just because he's so up and down.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what kind of judge you're going to get when you get him. Be consistent. You know, Julian Letterman is consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Letterman is consistent. Steve Weissel, some of these judges are consistent. You know, just be consistent. That's all. Be transparent. Be consistent. Don't score a fight 11 to 1 or 8 to 2. Then most motherfuckers don't got to fight that. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how does everybody else see it one way and you see it another way? Most people at the fights will score the fight different than people watching it at home. You know, they'll score the fight differently than people watching it at home. But when I have people that at the fight telling me I got robbed, or at worst a draw, and then when I have people at home saying the same thing, how do you get that wrong as a judge?
Mm.
I think my fiance was more upset about the decision than I was. I told her, I said, for days she kept talking about it, and she was upset about it, and I said, I'm immune to it. I'm used to it happening. She said, but that don't make it right. I said, I've been in this game 17 years. Like I'm accustomed to it, even though it's upsetting. Like it's okay. Like calm down. Don't cry. Don't just settle down. Like it's not. I'm immune to this now. It's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just be cool about it. It's cool. She's like, now I understand why you don't want none of our sons boxing anymore. Of course not. I don't. I want them to play soccer and football. Go get you some health insurance. Go get you some pension. Like, go to school, get good grades. Like, become an architect. Like, I don't want you boxing. This game ain't forgiving, man. This is a very unforgiving sport.
Well, Shay, where do I want to wrap it up because I know I've kept you for a minute, but where do you go from here? I mean, obviously, you know, there's not going to be anything you can do about those scorecards, but the performance itself you can capitalize on. So, like, what is it you want to happen next?
I want to be active. I mean, I think that's any athlete that is what they do to feed their family. I've said it 100 times. You take money out of sports, and some of your best athletes wouldn't be playing basketball night in and night out, wouldn't be playing football, wouldn't be playing tennis, wouldn't be playing golf. So, I mean, obviously, this is what I've been doing the last 17 years of my life professionally, the last 31 years of my life total through the amateur. So I want to compete. The last camp was me seeing what I had left. I mean, I really gave it my all that camp. I went all out and I trained really hard and it showed in the fight. So I'm hoping to stay busy. The WBC made a decision to take me out of the rankings that I wasn't too fond of. They said that I didn't agree to fight Bonez in a unification, which I don't remember ever telling them I wouldn't fight Bonez. I just remember, us not being able to come to agreement with King, and we were talking about Don King, one of the non-players in boxing right now. So, I mean, obviously it wasn't my fault, and I have to feed my family. So I'm more disappointed that they just removed me from the rankings. Had they left me in the rankings and just moved on and gave Bonez another fight for unification, I probably would have been fine for that. But to remove me from the rankings and then keep Bonez in there, who's been just as inactive as I was inactive. He hasn't fought since May, I think, of 2016. It was very disheartening. But like I said, I don't fight for belts or any of that. I just fight to feed my family and for my legacy and to give the fans a great fight. So hopefully I'll stay busy. I would love to come back in the first quarter of next year against a name and against somebody well known. It was surprising. Somebody told me that, a fan commented on one of my posts after I fought and said, man, Austin Trump keeps getting all these shots. Like, the last 2 fights were title shots. Why can't you get a title shot? I'm thinking, no, they weren't. So I went to box where I could check. So I'm like, damn, he did get 2 title shots back to back. So I don't know, man. Anything is possible, and you know, it's just activity. And I think that's key. And you know, like I said, I just want to be active, and you know, and take care of my family. You know, that's the major thing. And you know, no matter what people believe, no matter what they think, I think I showed myself well. I think the fight was good. Julian Williams showed up. He fought his ass off, and you know, and that's that. I may not agree with the scores, but that's not his fault. So more hats out to him. My gripes ain't with him. He fought his ass off. It was a great fight, and you know, it has nothing to do with him. We exchanged Twitter DMs after a few days after the fight, and he wished me well. I wished him well. He said that you know, he said condolences to your kid's mother and for her, you know, getting murdered, and he said he has some personal experiences. He know what that is like, and so he offered his condolences for that, and then about the cuts that he wasn't trying to headbutt me on purpose, so he apologized for that. But I knew he never did those things on purpose because he would be putting himself at risk to get cut too. So it just happens, and he's a good kid, man. He's a very good kid. So. And we just exchanged messages and left it as that. And I respect him as a fighter, man. So my gripes ain't his fault, but those scores were so wide, of course, it's something you can't live with.